When you first get ordained into the pastorate, the idea of getting to pick sermon series can be like being a kid in a candy store. There's so many things you can pick from, so many books of the Bible, so many topics to choose from. How do you decide? Well, I think the first thing would be is personal interest. When I first got into the pastorate, I know that one of the books that I really wanted to study and get to know better was Paul's epistle to Rome. That is, according to many theologians, the key of unlocking the scriptures and understanding them. So that was actually one of the first books of the Bible that I preached through, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes, there were many fearful moments because I thought, oh no, I'm not sure I understand this. Am I going to be able to preach this? But that was nevertheless one of the best things that I could do, which was picking a book of the Bible that I had great interest in. Another way that you can go about it is choosing the interests of the congregation. In other words, people in the church may come up to you and say, hey, I'd really like to know more about the book of Ecclesiastes. If you happen to be near a sermon break and you're trying to decide, well, that can be another way of deciding how to pick a sermon series. And in fact, that's how I picked once. One of my elders said, have you ever given thought to preaching on Ecclesiastes? And I said, hey, that sounds like a great idea. So, the interests of your congregation. Yet another way that you can decide are based upon the needs of your congregation. Might there be particular counseling problems that are plaguing a church? Might there be, say, profound suffering going on in the congregation because one or more people are suffering from a terminal illness? In that light, then it may be that you want to preach on suffering, maybe passages from the book of Job, or perhaps passages from 1 Peter where the apostle deals with suffering. Regardless of how you pick your passages or pick your sermon series, whether it's personal interest, the interests of the congregation, or the needs of the congregation, just remember this one thing. Regardless of what you choose, always preach from the Word of God.